weird question, but have you ever considered the emotional impact of colors? Each hue carries its own unique message, evoking specific feelings and reactions. That being said, have you ever wondered what all the colors of the main characters in SpongeBob represent? Red, as you know, is all about power, energy, and a bit of greed. And Mr. Krabs is basically the poster crab for this. His red shell is like a big flashing sign of his never-ending chase for money. And the episode Clams is a perfect showcase for this. So Mr. Krabs hits this insane milestone, making his millionth dollar. And he's over the moon. He's bursting with energy and decides to celebrate by taking SpongeBob and Squidward clam fishing. But here's where it gets wild. SpongeBob actually hooks Mr. Krabs' prized millionth dollar, and a giant clam snatches it away. Mr. Krabs' world turns totally upside down, and his excitement flips to total despair, showing us exactly what this dollar meant to him. It's basically like a symbol of his power and success. He becomes obsessed with getting it back to the point where he won't even let SpongeBob and Squidward eat until they find it. Bruh, like his greed and passion, that red hot intensity is just driving him absolutely bonkers. The saga continues with Mr. Krabs being devastated, and Squidward, though initially not caring much, gets roped into this mad quest. They even try to trick Mr. Krabs with a fake dollar, but nope, he is not falling for it. He goes into this frenzy, totally consumed by his need to get this dollar back. And get this, when he finally gets the chance to reclaim his dollar from the clam, Mr. Krabs makes an insane trade. He literally sacrifices almost his entire body for that $1. I mean, talk about dedication. This episode is a wild ride that tests everyone's limits, all sparked by Mr. Krabs' intense, fiery red passion for wealth. The episode also really brings to life how far Mr. Krabs will go for money, embodying that red energy of power and, oh yeah, a whole lot of greed. Now let's talk about Plankton and his green vibe. Green's all about growth and ambition, right? It doesn't really seem like Plankton, but that's kind of Plankton in a nutshell. Essentially, with his endless chase for the Krabby Patty formula, he is always eyeing Mr. Krabs' success at the Krusty Krab with a mix of envy and ambition. The episode The Algae's Always Greener is a perfect example of his relentless drive. Plankton, being his usual sneaky self, tries yet again to snag a Krabby Patty, but this time he's got a wild plan. He's gonna use a device to switch lives with Mr. Krabs. But once he steps into Mr. Krabs' shoes, things get chaotic. Plankton finds out that being Mr. Krabs isn't what it's all hyped up to be. For starters, SpongeBob comes in asking for a performance review. Plankton thinks he's got this, and he comments on SpongeBob's sauce usage, but SpongeBob totally overreacts, spiraling into despair. Then the mayhem cranks up a notch. SpongeBob's getting random promotions, Squidward's freaking out, and Pearl comes in demanding more money. And there's Plankton trying to handle it all with just $1. Customers are losing it, Squidward's messing up in the kitchen, and then to top it all off, the alarm goes off. And here's the real twist. Alternate universe Krabs shows up, butt naked, trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula. It's complete chaos, but through all this craziness, Plankton starts to see that maybe chasing Mr. Krabs' life isn't the answer. The episode is a wild ride that digs into Plankton's ambitions and the whole idea of the grass is always greener on the other side. It shows how Plankton's green desire for success and growth can lead to some pretty unexpected realizations. Patrick, his pink vibe is all about being chill and kind-hearted. There's this one episode, Big Pink Loser, where Patrick's simple, laid-back personality really stands out. It kicks off with Patrick finding a trophy and thinking it's his, but plot twist, it's actually SpongeBob's. Then Patrick tries his hand at working at the Krusty Krab, but let me tell you, it's a total mismatch. I mean, the guy munches on the orders, he can't handle a phone call, and even sweeping turns into a hilarious mess. And here's the funny part, Patrick starts imitating SpongeBob like there's no tomorrow. He dresses like him, acts like him, it's like SpongeBob's got a pink twin. SpongeBob is freaking out, and Patrick, feeling down, calls himself a big pink loser. But then, in a classic Patrick twist, his laid-back, do-nothing style actually wins him an award for doing nothing, and he's stoked, embracing his lazy self again, and goes back to chilling under his rock. See, that's the charm of Patrick. His innocence and go with the flow attitude always wins at the end, and even when he thinks he's a loser, he's just being himself, and that's actually what makes him awesome. Sandy Cheeks is like the solid, dependable friend in SpongeBob's zany world. Like, her brown color really matches her personality. She's super practical and really good at adapting to her life under the sea in Bikini Bottom. The episode Tea at the Tree Dome is a perfect example of how resilient and adaptable she is. It's also the first time she ever appears in a show. In this episode, Sandy's totally comfortable in her own space. The tree dome's filled with air, but for SpongeBob, it's kind of like a fish out of water situation. He tries so hard to fit into Sandy's world that he almost dehydrates because he's too shy to ask for water. water. Sandy's cool-headed and mature approach really stands out, especially when you compare it to SpongeBob's chaotic attempts to keep up with her lifestyle. SpongeBob's struggling to follow Patrick's weird advice about keeping his pinky up, and it just adds to the mess. The whole thing is a big lesson about understanding and adapting to different environments. And Sandy, she's got this practical way of solving the problem. She gives SpongeBob and Patrick water helmets to help them out. It's a simple solution that shows it's okay to ask for what you need, instead of trying to be something you're not. Sandy's character is all about the beauty of being straightforward and true to yourself. She finds joy in the simple things like her friendship with SpongeBob, even though they're two completely different species. This is a complete contrast to Plankton, who's always chasing something else, and then realizing that sometimes happiness is right where you are. Squidward, our turquoise friend, I really have a hard time saying this color, so please excuse me. But his color is all about creativity and a mix of emotions. Turquoise is like a symbol of his artsy style and his complex feelings. Take the episode Artist Unknown. It's like a whole art drama with Squidward and SpongeBob. Squidward starts off dreaming big about becoming famous for his art. Then SpongeBob, without even trying, totally outdoes him. Squidward's teaching SpongeBob how to draw, and SpongeBob just casually whips up a perfect circle. Squidward's feeling kind of jealous and insecure, seeing how SpongeBob's talent is showing him up. Enter Monty P. Moneybags, this art collector dude, and Squidward's emotional roller coaster just goes wild. He is desperate to be recognized, but it's SpongeBob's sculpture that catches Monty's eye. Now when Monty loves SpongeBob's work and thinks Squidward did it, things get even more tangled. They try to move the sculpture and boom, it breaks. Monty's cool about it though, because he just asked Squidward to make another one, but yeah, he can't, cause Squidward didn't do it. Now facing his own artistic limits and feeling pretty down in the end, Squidward tries to get SpongeBob back into art, but SpongeBob's lost his touch. Squidward goes berserk, smashing stuff in frustration, and SpongeBob thinks he's just overwhelmed by his talent. But here's the kicker. Monty comes back, sees the mess that Squidward made, and thinks it's a masterpiece. But Squidward, totally clueless, credits the janitor and storms off. Little does he know, his fit of rage actually created an awesome sculpture. The whole episode is a wild ride of jealousy, mix-up credit, and SpongeBob's innocent talent flipping everything on its own head. Squidward's deep emotional and artistic struggles are on full display here, ending with him accidentally hitting artistic gold. But being turquoise, I always knew he had it in him. And finally, let's talk about our yellow guy who is all about good vibes and laughs, SpongeBob. His color is like a burst of sunshine, right? He is always up for fun and barely ever runs out of energy. There's this one classic episode, Ripped Pants. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, and it pretty much sums up the kind of character that he is and what his color represents. So picture this. SpongeBob and Sandy are chilling at Goo Lagoon, having the time of their lives. SpongeBob, being his usual goofy self, starts doing these hilarious impressions and even getting into a weightlifting face-off with Larry. But oh man, he tries way too hard and ends up ripping his pants. At first, everyone's cracking up, even Sandy, but they soon get tired of his antics. SpongeBob then feels super down, thinking he's lost all of his friends. But then, in a plot twist, he finds out there's other people like him who feel like outcasts. So what does he do? He breaks into this awesome song. It's a total crowd pleaser and suddenly everyone's bonding over it. This classic episode shows how SpongeBob's bright yellow isn't just about fun. It's about staying true to yourself and bringing joy to others, even if it means standing out a bit. I mean, my dude is just a ball of happiness and a heart of gold, always spreading cheer wherever he goes. And before I close this video out, I just want to say that SpongeBob's bright yellowness isn't just about fun. It's about staying true to yourself and bringing joy to others, even if it means standing out a bit. So with that being said, I hope you find yourself spreading cheer wherever you go, and don't be afraid to stand out, because that's what's gonna make you, you.